Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this one, I want to talk about a very useful function in Python, which is called minimum and maximum functions. Now, one of the things I've mentioned before is that Python is the language of data science and, developing complicated mathematic functions and things like that. And because of that, one of the things that Python does is that it makes it really easy for you to process and work with numbers. And this is why we have the minimum maximum functions. And again, these are a few of the things that you actually can do in Python. And as I said, as we go down, I'm going to introduce you to more of the useful ones. But this is the power of Python. I just want you to remember, because this is something I want to be using as we go down a little bit potentially. And I want you to actually see it for yourself. When you actually notice it, you can understand, okay, this is a maximum function. So the idea with this is that you can actually find the minimum or maximum numbers of a certain list without having to do extra complicated calculations. So if you remember, in one of our exercises, we actually did something very simple. We actually had this exercise where we would enter a list of scores separated by space, and then we would use the for loop and also if and else function to essentially find the highest possible score, right? But guess what? There is actually a very simple way to do this without having to write any of these lines of codes, and that is using the maximum or minimum function. So the way you do this is, let's actually just get rid of this. Let me actually comment this out. All right, just there you go. All right, so we're going to get rid of that, and all we got to do to actually get the highest possible number in this input is this. We're going to say max, and we're going to enter the student scores. There you go. So just like that, with a single line, we're going to get the highest possible score and print it right here. And if I save this and run this right here, it's going to ask for us for some numbers. I'm going to say 19, 28, and 39, for example, and 50. So if I press enter, it's going to tell me 50 is the highest number. There you go. So just like that, we got the maximum, the largest number using a simple function, without having to do any of these. Now, the reason I actually wanted to share this after talking about all this stuff is that obviously it's good to know for loop, because for loop is used for a lot of different things. But I just want you to know that Python has a lot of these done for you functions that you can use, so you avoid making complicated complicated code essentially. And you can do the same thing for minimum. So if you use min, it's going to do the same thing essentially. If I run this, if I'd say 11, 29, 39, 30, for example, it's going to give me the 11. So that's the lowest number, minimum. So these are maximum, minimum functions. Definitely put them to use. And I just want to kind of point this out. When you see this maximum or minimum, this is basically what it means. It's looking at a list or a value and finding the minimum or lowest number of that. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to point this out. Let me know if you have any questions. If not, I'll see you in another lesson.